Well, hello, hello. Happy Tuesday, July 21st, 2026. I'm Manila Chan. That's Ted Rall. It's got to be a good day when we're not delayed with the Ted potty period.
Hey. I represent that remark.
You represent it well.
Yes.
You guys are tuned into the Ted Manila Information Show, TMI Show for short, because we bring you way too much information, including about our bathroom habits and, like sexual history, all that stuff. No holds barred here, Ted. I think that's pretty fair to say. We tell you all this stuff live Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So please be sure to hit the like, the follow, the share, the subscribe button, all that good stuff because it helps the show continue to grow. We hit all of our metrics, I think. Producer Robbie, I think, is that right? We hit all of our metrics for July, the new ones.
Yep, I just got to stream some premium, 4 more hours of premium content, and that's just a matter of just finish out the show like normal, and we are golden.
Yay! So we survive another month with this brand new metric. So at the start of every month, please, you guys, drop us a line in the live chat because that's the thing we cannot control is how many people are chatting. So at the start of every month, just once a month, drop us a line if you're not a normal chatter. But the Rumble Room is pretty hot. And if you're on YouTube and you prefer that, please migrate over at the start of the month, drop us a line. That helps us continue to do this program for you because Rumble pays us. So that'd be that. Any housekeeping we got to do, Robbie, before we move on to stories?
Speaking of Rumble paying us, we do have an ad. I'll go ahead and read that real quick.
That's part of how they pay us.
That is part of how they pay us. Just 1 second here, boys and girls, and get this up. We hear a lot about crypto, but here's the part that most people miss. Crypto is created so you can actually own and control your money. After the 2008 financial crisis, Bitcoin was designed as an alternative to banks. So instead of a bank holding your money, delaying transfers, or limiting access, you're in control. If you ever had to wait for a transfer to clear, you felt that problem. Now, fast forward to today, everybody's heard of crypto, but getting started still feels complicated. That's why I use Rumble Wallet. I really do use Rumble Wallet. It takes all the complexity and makes it simple. Choose what you want: Bitcoin, dollar-backed stable coins, or even digital gold backed by real gold. No complicated setup. It connects with MoonPay. So use your credit card, debit card, or bank and be set up and running in minutes. Once you're set up, you can even support your favorite Rumble creators like us directly. So do this now. Scan the QR code or click the link from the description and download Rumble Wallet. From there, you set up your wallet, tap buy, and you're in the game. In just a few minutes, you can go from hearing about crypto to actually owning some.
All right. Very good. All right. Any housekeeping we got to know about for your plans today, Ted?
Nope. Nope. This is the last show of the day.
Oh, for you today. Oh, woo-hoo. There you go.
Yeah, we'll be reading the gaming channel after today.
A surprise gamer?
Well, no, Putin by gaming.
Oh, okay. Yours. Okay.
That's Psycho?
Yes, that's Psycho because he has to get paid because he's getting a $1,000 a month haircut.
That greedy capitalist.
White nationalist gaming. Who doesn't want to? White, nationalist.
No. Speaking of
white nationalist.
Listen, I am.
You like in the game? Is it like sort of like it's like the Anne Frank gang, except you're on the bad side looking for her?
Well, it depends because especially with Baldur's Gate 3, and John will appreciate this, Mr. Cockefeller. You can either be have a good playthrough, kind of psychotic, or you can just go full on murder hobo. And I'm thinking about doing one where you just waste all the refugees. That solves the problem.
That's what I figured Robbie would do.
It'd
be a gaming of like murdering all.
In the 90s, I was in development by a major gaming company to do a game called Boss Hunter, and basically Boss Hunter. You're a disgruntled employee, and you've entered the company headquarters, and you have to shoot through all the security guards and lick spittle like supporters of the boss middle managers. It's to get up to the boss, the CEO, before he can get to his helicopter pad up on the roof and fly away with his bag of bullion and stock options.
So as far as that would be,
you could do that in GTA, right? In Grand Theft Auto.
One thing I am also I'm happy about is No, let's send you the story. It made me smile. They're putting the Confederate Memorial back up in Pensacola.
I saw. Oh, this was in Pensacola.
Yep.
Back in the motherland.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's going back up.
What was it? What is the memorial?
So the memorial, it was built in the 1890s from granite from Richmond, and it was a column with a statue of the image of a Confederate soldier standing on top of it, looking south over the bay. It was on Palafox Hill, which is the highest point in Pensacola, and then on the base of the pedestal it says "in honor of our Confederate dead," and there were these brick steps that led up to it with the names of all 13 states of the Confederacy. And so you'd be able to go up there, and then people would go and leave flowers and stuff as in remembrance of our Confederate war dead. And of course, that's offensive. And so after the Summer of Love, the city of Pensacola, being ran by carpetbaggers, took it down. And conveniently enough, it's amazing. Taking down the memorial did not fix the problems that the city was having with crime and drugs and prostitution. And it's just as violent now, if not more so. It's kind of turning into a suburb of Mobile, which is amazing. It's like Detroit, but in the South, the tropical climate. And they've decided that since removing the memorial isn't solving these problems, they're going to put it back up in St. John Cemetery, which is the oldest cemetery in the country. Oh. We've got Spanish governors buried there, French governors buried there, a couple of Confederate generals are buried there. The Secretary of the Navy of the Confederacy, Mr. Malloy, is buried there, or Mallory. And so, yeah, they're going to put it back up there, and we'll see if the sea burns down as a result.
How do people of color, or let's say Democrats, feel about this?
Oh, the Democrats are up in arms. To which case, I say, if you don't like it, don't move to a southern city. Go back to the shithole from which you crawled out of.
Well, they've been talking for the last 5 or 6 years here in Northern Virginia about renaming the entire whole of Route 1, which is Jefferson Davis Highway.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like. And what's your thought about that, Manila?
I just leave it alone. Like, most young people don't even know what it is, don't care who he is, don't know. And honestly, most people, just like nobody cared about the Redskins, like now you're the Commanders, nobody cared. It was like 5 Native Americans and then a bunch of angry white people about the Redskins. Like, just leave it alone.
Okay, so when you say leave it alone, you mean like let it be renamed, or?
No, leave it be. Nobody cares.
What is it currently called?
Jefferson Davis Highway?
Yeah.
US 1?
Oh, it's currently Jefferson Davis.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, but they've been talking about renaming it for years. And
well, I mean, one can understand why. Yeah.
Why?
Leave it alone.
Well, because, I mean, the United States is a country that in 1865 was kind of created by defeating the Confederacy. So it's kind of like, do you let the losing side in your Civil War be honored? And I got to say, I can't think of a single example where it is. I mean, like, it's not like in 1920, the Bolsheviks were like, yeah, we're going to have, monuments to the White Russians. That wasn't going to happen.
But here's the difference. So it wasn't a civil war. It was a failed revolution. There's a difference. A civil war means one faction is trying to overthrow the government of another.
Mm-hmm.
The War of Northern Aggression was just that. It was the several southern states exercising their rights under the Constitution to leave a federal union that they felt was punitive to them. Where in the Constitution does it say a state cannot succeed?
Well, this is a whole discussion that
Yeah.
We're not gonna have right now, but yeah.
To me, as a minority person in the U.S., I've never been bothered by the Cleveland Indians, the Washington Redskins.
Yeah, but you're not an Indian.
And I'm sure Chinatown. Should I be bothered by Chinatown?
Why? It was named. It was created by Chinese people. So no. But I mean, it's not like there's
when you have a
the
venerable
Lazy Laotian
sports team,
statue or something.
But
right?
it's not when you have like sports teams, for example, like venerable sports teams, like the Washington Redskins or the Cleveland Indians. That's not making fun of those groups. They're actually like, they're celebrated names and characters. And most Native Americans that I actually interviewed about this stuff years past, they wanted the teams to keep their names.
Well, I think they get the vote, right? I mean, basically.
They wanted to, but the handful of Native Americans and the hordes of angry white people forced them to change. So Dan Snyder was forced,
You know, if y'all ever come, like Ted, whenever you come back here to Montana and Manila, I'm so forgiving you for going to Iceland and still not coming to Montana to come visit me.
Racist.
Iceland, I mean, same thing. Fucking free.
If you go south,
same thing.
But if you go south on US 93, there's these big wooden signs that says, "Welcome to the Flathead Indian Reservation."
Yeah, but they can call themselves whatever they want. They can call themselves fucktards if they want. It's okay.
But white people say that's racist and offensive, and that we need to help them because they're victims of low expectations and cultural oppression and all this other stuff. So you have pasty whiteys, Ted, from your political persuasion, trying to tell these people, no, you're self-identifying wrong.
Good point. Tara Preta in the chat says, in the Rumble chat says, Minnesota Vikings. Does that honor Vikings or demean them? No one's angry
more
about
to the
that.
point, why the fuck? Well, I know why they're called the Vikings, but it's such a stretch.
But the name, like the
Vikings never fucking be landing in Minnesota. Like,
how do you know?
Well, probably not, unless they came by plane.
There's rivers.
That's true. Yeah.
So I don't think it's actually demeaning to those groups, and there are worse names.
Yeah, but it's up to them to decide, right?
World.
This is kind of like, I had a friend. He was like was making out with some girl at a party, and he said, "Oh, it's not cheating," and I'm like, "Why not?" He goes, "I was just making out." I go, "You know who gets to decide that?" And your wife gets to decide whether it's cheating or not. If she saw you, if she didn't think it was cheating, then it's not cheating. But if she does think it's cheating, then it's cheating.
Well, I can see where some people could make the argument about the Washington Redskins or the Cleveland Indians or whatever. But when US 1 is Jefferson Davis Highway, that's just someone's name. I don't think the Davis family's mad about
Hitler is just someone's name. I mean, what are you talking about?
Here's how
it's just someone's name.
Here's how
General Tojo is just someone's name.
Here's how I would put this, Ted. And I'm just going to go to the heart of the issue. The whole reason why Virginia is no longer the Virginia it used to be is because of massive amounts of immigration of people from all over the world who are taught how racist and disgusting that the United States is. And so you're going to move to a country.
True.
Well, then why did they move here? It's obviously not true. If it was true, then massive amounts of people of color will not be coming here, sucking on the public tit, working for the federal government and all this other crap, moving to the state level, the largest state in the South for the Confederacy, then demand that people like me sit down, shut the fuck up, Whitey, change your name, change your history, and self-flagellate yourself. Go to hell.
Wasn't it the capital of the
Richmond, Virginia? Montgomery, Alabama was the original capital. Then they moved it to Virginia because Virginia was the richest and largest of the southern states that joined the Confederacy after Lincoln requested 200,000 volunteers be called up to crush the Southern Rebellion.
Out of curiosity, I think seriously can think of no one better to answer the following question than you, Robbie.
Shoot.
Why the fuck did they put the capital in Richmond, considering geographically how close it was to the north? I mean, didn't that create a vulnerability?
Of course it did. But because Virginia was the largest and the richest of all the southern states.
But that's stupid. I mean, that's not a good enough reason. I mean, just because of what I just said. I mean,
but also. Well, I mean, that's part of it. Also, though,
the U.S. capital should be like in Kansas City.
But if you look back, though, what's Virginia's nickname?
Old Dominion.
No, the mother of presidents.
Okay. Really? I don't even.
Because there were 8 presidents from Virginia.
Because Virginia has had more presidents than the other states, and almost all of the
tied with Ohio. Remember?
Whatever.
Really?
Ohio's our official construct. Who cares? Anyway.
California's got 2.
But I mean, that's why, though, because if you got to think about it, 1860 was a lot closer to the founding of the country than what we are right now. And people remember, said George Washington, John Thomas Jefferson, Adams was from New York, so he doesn't count. Madison, Monroe, they were Virginians. but that's part of the reason is because you got to think about this. The Southerners were not waging a civil war the way
we think about it in a contemporary way,
because they were not trying to seize control of the national government.
And and obviously the origins of the American revolutionary system are in the Virginia state legislature, well, the provincial legislature at the time. They were Virginians. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, there was no concept of an American back then the way there is now. Like, you're a citizen of your state.
Yeah, they worked it out in the Virginia legislature, basically.
Yeah, they did.
It's where Jefferson made his bones. I mean, I would argue Jefferson's the most important founding father.
I agree.
Speaking of him, Trump, is continuing to like remodel the grounds of the White House. And the Rose Garden, Ted, I'm sure you've been there. I've been there.
The Rose Garden is toast, right? Didn't he ripped it all up?
It's unrecognizable. Unrecognizable. I get why he did this. He laid like I don't know if it's like travertine or whatever, but he completely ripped up the Rose Garden and laid like some kind of stone tiling throughout, because I get it. They have, that's where they have press conferences and stuff and have events and whatever, and women's shoes keep sinking into the, okay, fine. They did that. But
every year, thousands of Washington
American women
are lost in the Rose Garden. Thank God for our president saving their lives.
They're saving their expensive heels. They're like stuck in there. Their
the
heels.
Romanian correspondent. Goodbye.
She's sinking into the Rose Garden. It's true. It's happened to me. But anyway, so yesterday or a couple days ago, maybe this weekend, Trump put up a life-size statue of Thomas Jefferson in the Rose Garden. I don't know why they call it the Rose Garden now. It's the Stone Garden.
It's more attractive than the Charlie Kirk one that guy wants to put in Times Square.
Well, they put up,
which will last about a minute before the city takes it down.
Jefferson one, and Jefferson is on a stone bench in the new Stone Garden, and he's like,
he's sitting. He's sitting down?
Yeah, he's sitting with like, he's cross-legged and he's got like a tablet, and I don't mean it's like an iPad. It's like a stone tablet.
You never know.
And he's got like a quill. Yeah, it's the Trump administration. They might have said ordered a tablet and it's like
modernize him.
A fucking iPad.
Yeah, Jefferson maxing.
I guess you could just sit there if you ever visit the White House and sit next to Thomas Jefferson.
I don't like I gotta say, I'm not a fan of those. You know, the statues that a lot of cities have where it's like a bench and there's like a statue of like a dude like reading the newspaper sitting on the bench or whatever.
Yeah. It's an old timey dude.
I don't want to interact with you.
Well, this is a bronze statue, so it's not like a fake.
So is that. So are the ones I'm talking about. They're bronze.
I'm talking about the ones at theme parks that you see where it's like
I'm
human
talking about
colored.
real. There's some really famous,
statues.
some very famous sculptors who do these in cities.
Oh, well, that's what I don't know who he commissioned, but that's up now.
In Missoula, they got a statue of Ronald Reagan that you can sit next to.
Oh, I could take a shit on that.
Yeah, in Missoula.
Why?
Well, because it wasn't always a liberal hellhole that it is now.
So he has no like relationship to Missoula?
No, not at all.
They just like the cut of his jib.
Yeah, well, we got to remember. I mean, Reagan did a lot of westerns back in the day, and Montana is a western state. So I mean, so that's one of the reasons that he was there.
Okay, well, there you go.
But no,
all right,
kudos to Pensacola for restoring the Confederate Memorial. I appreciate it.
And I say, just leave US 1 alone, for fuck's sake. Just US 1/Jefferson Davis Highway. Leave it be.
Well, and how do black people feel about this? They get a vote too.
No one says anything. No one even cares. I've only seen white people complain.
Maybe black people are just so like disgusted. They just roll their eyes.
Yeah, that's it.
Fucking
no,
whiteys.
They got better things to care about, Ted. It's the
true.
Angry suburban wine moms that are angry about Jefferson Davis Highway.
You know, Ted, if you really want to know, you're welcome to call Kizzy and ask her. She's a black woman, and she's a Southerner.
Yeah, why don't you ask her for me?
Dude, we have a Confederate flag in my house.
Yeah, but that's why you don't sleep soundly.
I don't sleep soundly because my brain doesn't turn off. Yeah, no, I kid you. And No, we have
the ghost of the Confederacy.
No, because
you have a black wife and a Confederate flag in your house.
Our son is named after Stonewall Jackson.
Jack you up.
Our son is named after Stonewall Jackson. I mean, Kizzy went into this eyes wide open. She knew exactly what she was getting into. And to answer your question, most black people, to Manila's point, don't care. Some of them do will get offended. Other people, they just
if you're Al Sharpton, if you're fucking Al Sharpton, you might care. If you're some race baiter, you might care. Most black folks.
Kizzy, you want to come over here and tell Ted how you feel about the Confederacy?
Don't make her.
She's right here.
Leave her alone.
She doesn't like. She's very shy.
She suffered enough being married to you.
Oh, she is shy.
She's a shy lady.
Kizzy is very shy.
I know she's a.
She would never do it.
She's a shy lady, so don't put her on the spot like that.
She's right there.
I know, but she's a shy lady.
The difference between right there and right here are like.
Serious.
Let's get to the story.
You could be seen even in Vientiane if they were behind.
I know Robbie's going to want to chime in on this first story anyway.
The show is huge in Laos, so.
It is. I'm the most famous Lao person in America. Or I was. I might have lost that. I might have lost that title. I don't know. I haven't checked.
Wait, is there some other famous Laotian lady?
I don't know. I know years ago when I went to the Lao embassy for the Lao New Year celebration, it was very bizarre because the ambassador sent one of his people to come tap me on the shoulder and be like, the ambassador would like to meet you. And I was like,
it's like, were you like, back off, Epstein?
Yeah, I was like, what? How do you all even know me? Like, what is going on here? So I meet the ambassador. This wasn't planned or anything, which made me think later, like, do you have some fucking dossier on all the Lao Americans? Like, what the fuck is this?
Both of them.
So he was like shaking my hand. He gives me a pin. He does a photo op with me. And I'm like shaking my hand and giving me this pin. You know those photo ops, right? And I'm like,
of course.
I wasn't planning on this. Okay. I'm in full Lao regalia. And they do the photo op. And he's like, you're the most famous Lao person in America. And I was like,
yeah,
cool.
So Method
like
over on YouTube. So Method at YouTube, he's calling me out. He says, "What the fuck, Robbie? They care about the Confederate battle flag for fuck's sake." So let me tell you about my best childhood friend growing up. This dude's name was Christmas Noel. His parents hated him.
Oh my God!
He was this huge black dude. He was about 6'4", and easily 200 pounds. Christmas Noel. And this boy, he had a big old Confederate battle flag tattooed on his right arm, and he was just he was a member of Sons of Confederate Veterans because his granddaddy worked in the Confederate Army. And if you talked any kind of crap about the South, or made it, or laughed about his name, he'd feed you your teeth. Those are the two things you didn't. Well, three things you didn't bad talk Jesus, you didn't talk about the South. And you didn't make fun of his name. He said, my name is Christmas Noel. And if you cracked a smile, he'd bust your face.
I cut you.
I will end you.
Happy December 25th. We
gotta jump.
4 stories to go. 28 minutes into the show.
I know Robbie's gonna want to chime in for this one. Oh, and before we go, I need to give a shout out. I got a shout out to Dr. Reese, our own friend, our Dr. Reese Halter, running for city council in the city of Arcata. Well, not even a city, a town of Arcata, California. So when you guys see him out in the woods and stuff, it's this like out in the boonies town in Northern California called Arcata, Arcata.
Remember, if he loses, it's because of election interference from China, Russia, and Clovis.
I'm going to say we need to start an online grassroots campaign for Dr. Reese Halter.
Tell him to reach out to me if he
200 people in Arcata
if he needs campaign materials designed. I've done that quite a bit too. I've never lost a campaign. Let's put it that way.
Oh my God, you should reach out to him. We got to help Dr. Reese win a seat because he's going to go hugging all the fucking trees in Arcata. And that is like Tree Town in NorCal. And it really is out in the boonies. It's totally perfect for him. It's like a nature sanctuary, that this little town up in the mountains. If you guys can help him in any way, anyone out there, help Dr. Reese Halter win a seat.
And obviously, if you live in Arcata, please consider voting for him.
Yes, please vote for him if you're out there. Spread the word. If you know any of the townsfolk of Arcata, Dr. Reese Halter.
However, if Dr. Reese turns out to be in the Epstein class, or he secretly is on the take from AIPAC, well, we don't know any of that now. So,
but as far as we know, we love Dr. Reese, and he would make a great city councilman. I think he would do awesome.
The views up his nostrils for me are incredibly arousing. Whenever he's out there walking, it's just there's just something about just the nose hair.
Something about amazing. The way they move.
Every city council needs a fucking scientist.
Like no other nostril.
I say every city council needs a fucking scientist on there to keep shit real, so they understand, the things that they're deciding on, right? Like from a scientific level. So I say, Dr. Reese, go for it. Go, Dr. Reese, go. Yep. All right, let's us go. All right. So the Supreme Court is taking up Alaska's $95,000 beer case. And what do you mean by $95,000? The U.S. Supreme Court will decide whether Alaska went too far when it confiscated a pilot's basically $100,000 airplane over beer intended for a community where alcohol is prohibited. So it's a dry community. In 2012, pilot Kenneth Jupy was preparing to fly a passenger from Fairbanks to Beaver, Alaska. State troopers found 2 cases of beer. Yes. Found 2 cases of beer and 4 6-packs in the passenger's luggage before the flight departed. Prosecutors argued Jupy knew at least some of the alcohol was on board. A jury convicted him of attempting to transport alcohol into a dry community, which is a misdemeanor. Jupy, a first-time offender, received 3 days in jail, probation, and a $1,500 fine.
Ridiculous. Fucking 3 days in jail for something like that.
Alaska
$1,500 already. That
egregious.
Already, this story is already insane.
Yeah, and then Alaska, the state, sought to get forfeiture of his 1969 Cessna. That seizure is now
because after all, Sarah Palin, she be needing that Cessna so she can shoot bears.
Well, she's not in charge anymore.
She's always in charge. She has always been.
She's the queen of Alaska.
She was the queen of Alaska under Russia, and she still is today. She always will be, even after she dies. But she can't die because she's Sarah Palin.
That's true. That seizure is now at the center of a constitutional debate. The 8th Amendment prohibits excessive fines, including property forfeitures that are, quote, grossly disproportionate to the offense. And I would say this is that. Jupy argues courts should examine what he personally did, how much alcohol he knew about, and the actual harm caused. And it's worth pointing out that no alcohol ever got to Beaver. Alaska argues.
Thank God for that.
The state argues that the broader consequences matter. Illegal alcohol trafficking has caused serious public health and safety problems in remote communities, and aircraft are frequently used to transport contraband where roads do not exist. The case also arrives amid growing scrutiny of asset forfeiture. Federal and state governments seized nearly $5 billion in property and cash in 2023. Since the year 2000, forfeiture collections have totaled at least $82 billion.
Outrage. Civil asset forfeiture is a fucking massive scandal. And like people are...
2 crimes.
I mean, go ahead.
Types.
Go ahead.
2 types of forfeiture. Hold on. Let me finish the article. Jupy's case involves criminal forfeiture following a conviction, not traditional civil forfeiture, which can occur without a criminal conviction.
Ridiculous.
So that's even worse. But
even without being charged.
Correct. But the central concern is similar. How much property may the government take as punishment? The Supreme Court's ruling could determine whether courts must focus on a defendant's actual conduct or may justify forfeiture by citing broader dangers associated with the crime. For Jupy, the answer could mean the difference between a misdemeanor conviction and losing an airplane worth more than 60 times his fine. So obviously you guys kind of know where I stand on this, libertarian leaning. This is some bullshit. He was already overcharged and overpunished in the first place. Then the state goes and tries to steal his shit.
So there are two, which is also, by the way, not only stealing his extremely valuable, probably his most important possession, unless he owns a home, but also destroy his livelihood. That's
exactly it.
That's his job.
That's his whole fucking job. He's a fucking bush pilot. Those crazy dudes that fly in between like the mountains and whatever. He's that dude. He's an old man too. So they're taking away like, who knows how much he has in pension or Social Security or whatever. But he's an old man. He looks to be in his 70s or if not close to 80. But as a side-by-side comparison in your mind, so there's civil asset forfeiture and the 8th Amendment protections, right? The primary target in civil asset forfeiture, which by the way, civil asset forfeiture allows law enforcement to seize your property suspected of involvement in a crime without charging the owner with any crime whatsoever. Whereas 8th Amendment prohibits the federal government from imposing excessive jail, excessive fines, cruel or unusual punishment.
First of all, civil asset forfeiture is plainly unconstitutional and should be abolished. But in terms of, I'm going to go further. I'm going to say criminal asset forfeiture is unconstitutional too. I mean, honestly, let's just say like it's a legitimate case, right? Like a dude's selling drugs out of his house, and the state wants to take the house. No, I say the state, they can jail you and they can fine you, but they shouldn't be able to steal your specific property. It's like they can maybe fine you to the value of your house or more, but that's different. They shouldn't be able to steal your property.
But then what happens if you can't pay the fine? Or what happens if you can't pay your taxes because you're in jail?
Well, then you'll pay when you get out of jail.
But you can't pay it. That's the problem.
Well, then you don't pay.
Then what does the state do?
I don't know. The state will muddle on by taxing people, right?
I mean, no, listen, I agree with you. But the thing is, I mean, saying that the state shouldn't do this, I agree with you. And that's it is theft.
I mean, property rights is at the absolute core of the Anglo-Saxon, English, British common law that is the basis of the United States system. It's central to it. It's I'm a communist. It's like under my system, property rights would not be. You'd have property rights, but they wouldn't be core to the system. It is core to our system.
Yeah, listen, property tax should be abolished on your primary residence, on your first home. If you have more than one home, pay taxes on the extra ones.
They shouldn't be taxing your boat or your car either.
But the home that you live in, that's your home. Otherwise, you don't own your property; you rent it from the state, and that's the whole point with our. That's the whole.
People have their houses completely. People are evicted for non-payment on houses that they own free and clear. Yeah. That they own free and clear, right?
That just shows they don't pay their property taxes. And then you have eminent domain, which is another tool that the government uses to fucking steal your shit.
However, it should be eminent domain is valuable for certain things. It's often abused. But like, for example, if you have an abandoned house that, let's say you're a New York City landlord and you have refused to rent out your storefront for 15 years and it's become an eyesore covered with graffiti and there's rats running around inside, the city should be able to take it.
No, I still say the government should stay the fuck off of your private property. If you paid it free and clear, you're law abiding. Otherwise,
what about a neglectful? But you're not law abiding if you're not upkeeping.
What you want to do with your property, provided it's still law abiding.
It's not law abiding if you abandon it.
Yeah, but if you not an abandoned, if it's abandoned, then nobody knows who the owner is. So by definition, it's not abandoned.
Look, New York City is one of many cities where you're
saying there's blighted buildings all over the place.
Yeah,
that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, and that goes. Obviously, there's zoning codes,
and there's tons of that shit in Baltimore, and you know who's taking advantage of all of those? the Kushner family. They're buying up blighted shit all over Baltimore.
Well, good for them. But the point is that like that shit should be stolen by the state and used for public
I don't think the
interest.
state should ever steal anything from anybody. That there's processes to go through. So I think eminent domain and this stuff, I'm on the same side of all of this. Your property rights, those are yours. The property
We're all pretty close together
cannot
here.
commit the property cannot commit a crime. It's like trying to put
Plus,
the gun on trial.
It's a massive, like, it's rife for abuse. There are many published accounts, for example, in civil asset forfeiture of small town police departments laying in wait on the side of the highway for flashy, cool cars. And they're like, oh man, wouldn't that Dodge, I'm not even kidding, wouldn't that Dodge Charger or Dodge Challenger look great in our fleet? They pull the person over, they search them, they're like, you have $300 in cash. We believe you are a drug dealer, and they steal your car, and there's no way you can get it back because it would cost more in legal bills than the value of the item. So all the lawyers tell you you could win, but it's going to cost you $500,000 to win, so it's not worth it.
Yeah,
so everyone walks away from their property.
There are several cases like that of people accused of whatever, they're being a drug mule or whatever, and they may very well not be, but there are no cases brought against them because the cops file it under civil asset forfeiture. They have reasonable suspicion, and that's such a broad term, and I hate that too. And they get to keep your shit. That's it. So you can fight to get it out of impound, but oftentimes the legal fees to fight to get your, let's say you have a 1998 Toyota Corolla valued at $3,000, it'll cost you $8,000 to get it out of impound with lawyer fees and whatever. And you can't afford that. But then your livelihood goes down the shit because you can't get to your, whatever job you're doing because you're now shit out of luck without a car. So this is happening all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's fucking horrible. And this old man, I'm so happy for him that he's getting this to SCOTUS. I think on so many levels, he's right.
Look, I think the Supreme Court's going to rule in his favor. What I would like them to do is go for a more expansive ruling that doesn't just handle his case, but answers the broader question of what level is appropriate, sets some sort of level, a limit for the amount that can be seized. I mean, to me, that should be zero. But the point is that like there's that lower, like the police departments and lower courts need guidance. That's the main reason that the U.S. Supreme Court accepts cases at all, is to provide that kind of guidance. So I hope they do it.
Given that this is a criminal case, where was the criminality, Ted? He didn't even leave the fucking ground. He wasn't in the air.
Look, honestly, I think he's guilty from the account in the story. I just don't think he's guilty of anything serious. Right.
Right. Well,
the punishment
for me, I would argue. I agree. I would argue that like there was no crime actually committed. He never left the ground.
He clearly knew. I mean, he knew what he was doing, obviously.
Maybe
I mean,
not.
You've seen those you've been on one of those little planes. I mean,
they're busting him on pre-crime.
It's not like it's a massive like container where, things could easily be snuck in, right?
No, I understand.
When I'm on those little planes, they suck.
I understand.
He's basically, it's a Carmen Gia in the sky,
Yes, but no crime was actually committed is my point. Like he didn't even leave the ground.
No, the crime was committed. He conspired to smuggle.
But that's not what they charged him.
That should come with a brutal $5 to $10 penalty.
Yes, like how much is this beer worth? We're impounding it and we're
plus $4 American. And don't let it happen.
Not Alaskan dollars.
Right.
No, I understand, why these counties do this stuff because the suicide rate is so high.
These are indigenous communities. Yeah.
Yeah. The suicide rate is high. People are just really hopeless. It's
sure.
We got the same problems here in Montana.
It's bleak.
Suicide is the leading cause of death in my state.
I hate to say it. It's the leading cause of death in every state.
Yeah, I believe it. And alcohol contributes to that. People, they drink it, it makes them more depressed. It's a depressant. and they decide they're going to opt out and blow their brains out. And it's cruel, the way this stuff happens. I mean, the guy broke the law. He should pay a price for it. But this goes too far.
And include one beaver
honestly,
pelt for every dollar, Ted.
$1,500 and a few days in the clink. That's pretty serious. I wouldn't want to pay. I would be very upset if I had to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I would have ended it there.
Plenty.
$1,000 and a week in jail.
Leave it. Yeah, leave it alone.
Don't do it again.
We're done.
No, make it sting.
That would make that does sting. That's already a lot.
I mean, that's the point. Is to defer. Is to make you think about doing this.
It would definitely make me not do it again.
Yeah, for sure.
That's right.
Destroying his livelihood is too far.
I think you guys will agree to make this story specifically Alaska. I hope when SCOTUS rules that they
rule 9-0 in his favor.
And I hope they add that when penalties are applied in Alaska, you have to pay not only in U.S. dollars, but some sort of like
in
beaver pelt.
Russian rubles.
No, you got to include, because it's Alaska, it's the wild. It's got to be like beaver pelts and raccoon skins,
polar bear ear.
Yeah, like you got to pay in like Alaskan currency.
It's like a lens from Sarah Palin's glasses.
They barter up there, Ted.
Yeah, or a sled dog. A sled dog, maybe.
Us pay with a sled dog. Yeah, you got to barter up there, man. It's the wild.
Or just a photograph of Russia as seen from your house.
It's only from Sarah Palin's porch. Duh.
A faulty self-checkout system cost a veteran Ford employee his job and is raising questions about how readily companies trust machines over people. So, Kurt Crom was a 60-year-old dude who worked as an electrician at Ford's Kentucky truck plant in Louisville for 11 years. During an overnight shift on May 9th, he says his blood sugar dropped dangerously low. So he went to an Aramark-operated kiosk and tried to buy some cookies for $1.95. The first terminal displayed a red error screen. Error, no cookies for you, loser. Crom tried another kiosk and thought that the payment had gone through. A week later, Ford's supervisor told him that surveillance video showed that he had taken the cookies without paying. Under a reported zero tolerance policy for intelligence among managers, he was fired and escorted away from the plant. However, then he checked his bank records. There was a charge for $1.95 at 3:38 in the morning. Crom decided to submit the transaction to Ford and his union. Ford later required notarized bank records, confirmed the payment with Aramark, and offered him his job back with 5 weeks of back pay, reported at roughly $28,000 to $33,000. He said, "I'm not coming back, fuck you," said the company never apologized and has retained a lawyer to pursue possible lawsuit against Ford and or Aramark. The kiosk wasn't necessarily AI, but this failure reflects the same danger surrounding AI-assisted workplace decisions. Technology produces a signal, management treats it like objective truth, and the employee has to prove that the machine was wrong. So Ford said it doesn't talk about individual personnel issues, but it did acknowledge that some situations could have been handled differently. Yes, retards. Like, even if the dude had heisted $1.95 in cookies, you could have let your 11-year employee slide on this. Like, really. So
he was having a diabetic issue. Like, fuck.
I mean, seriously, at most, it doesn't even qualify. It doesn't even, it shouldn't even be a warning in your file. It should just be like, your boss should be like, dude, don't let it happen again. That's it.
Like, bring cash or something, like whatever, right? Or make sure you bring cookies, whatever. But this is.
Well, I will I will say that Ford, although they fucked up, they definitely. Look, they don't suck totally. I mean, they offered him his job back. They offered him some money for his trouble. It's not nothing. I mean, for a working class person, $30,000 is a considerable amount of money for being out of work for 5 weeks, back pay. So he was going to basically he had some stressful times, but he got his job back and he got 30 grand out of it. I mean, not too bad. No. I mean, I'm going to side with the employer here and say maybe you should have just taken the money. I don't know how much more you're going to get out of a lawsuit, really. I think you should have gone back to work. But
I wonder if an apology from
an apology was really, and corporations never apologize as a matter of policy because I think it opens them up to liability. But like, you already had the liability. You offered the dude money. I mean, so at least they didn't do like the LA Times where they doubled down on their lies and like, they like didn't admit that they'd fucked up when I showed them it was just a similar thing. When I read this, I thought, oh, it's just like me. They accused me of a certain thing. Then I showed them, oh, here's scientific evidence that you're wrong and I'm right. And they should have just been like, come out of their hidey hole and just said, okay, I'm sorry, you're right. Let's get back to work. And I would
back off. Yeah.
Back off. I would have been like, anyone can make a mistake. Let's get back to work. Let's draw cartoons.
But there's no mea culpa, like you said, from corporations. And with the growing dependency on technology and not even hearing the guy out, like give him a chance to be like, well, sorry if I didn't pay. Can I pay for it now? Even if it not gone through.
It's $1.95 worth of cookies. It's like, listen to yourselves. I mean, like you wouldn't seriously, you wouldn't get mad at an elementary school kid who heisted $1.95 from the school cafeteria in cookies.
Right.
Why the fuck? This is a grown ass man who's been building cars for you for
an electrician.
He's an electrician. He's been building cars. He's been building cars for you for 11 fucking years full time. And this is your gratitude? I mean, that's disgusting.
Really just, again, this goes to what we were saying yesterday when we were closing the show. Don't overly rely on technology because it's flawed. And not that humans aren't flawed, but you need to be the backstop.
There's several angles to this. That definitely the technological angle is important.
That's shitty of the company. But yeah, to your point, I agree. They offered, like, I think what they offered him was fair, and it should have come with a little bit of like, sorry about the misunderstanding. We're good. Here's an added bonus.
What Ford has set up there, and most other companies, they've created a fucking police state. Like, it's like inside their company, like where you instead of just being like, hey, I mean, first of all, $1.95 cookies should be free.
So
like they
petty.
shouldn't even be charging employees
at
like
3:38 in the morning. Like you should have like coffee and cookies for
cookies should just be out for everybody who wants them. Guess what? Fucking Ford Motor with your billions of dollars in annual profits. You can have some Fig Newtons and shit like lying around, right? I mean,
have some tea and coffee and cookies for your workers that are working at 3:38 a.m.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what a
making your product, busting ass while the CEO is sleeping with his mistress at home. Like,
what a far cry Ford today is from Ford of the founding Henry Ford. Do you know, Ted, that Henry Ford, upon the founding, he created like Ford Town, basically, and they had their own like Ford currency. And if you can look this up, this is before like there were labor unions and all of that. The Ford Motor Company was so good to their employees that they had their own like dormitory type housing that the workers didn't have to pay for. They had their Ford bucks, like spending cash, like when you go to Disneyland and you buy like Disney bucks or whatever to spend within Disneyland. Same thing. Henry Ford thought of all of this.
They paid twice the prevailing wage. Because as Henry Ford famously said, I want Ford Motor employees to be able to buy Ford Motor cars.
Yep. And the founder, how far the company has fallen since the founding.
I mean, granted, he was an anti-Semite, but we can talk about that some other time.
That's a different conversation, Ted.
Yes.
Nothing to do with anything. He was way ahead of like taking care of his workers, is my point. And now we're
as long as they were not Jewish.
They're probably
the ones stealing taking care of his workers.
Krom, Kromm. Is that Jewish?
I doubt it.
I doubt it.
Sounds very Germanic to me.
I know. I'm totally kidding. But how far the company has fallen. Just saying. All right. Ted is no sports fan at all. I watched the World Cup. I used to be an avid sports fan of all kinds of different sports, but not so much now. I'm a little busy. But turns out, oh, Ted, but you like concerts and movie theaters and stuff. So this, I think, is applicable.
I do. Cool.
So the emotional connection between sports fans may be more than a figure of speech. New research suggests people watching a live game together can experience synchronized heartbeats, increased oxytocin, and reduced stress. This is basically similar to the effects of having sex with a partner that you actually like bond with.
Or even if you don't bond. I mean, bonding's overrated.
Those things are it actually, all this stuff does happen though during sex. Synchronized heartbeats, increased oxytocin, reduced stress levels, which is like your cortisol levels. And this is this among fans, even if you barely interact with the other fans. Researchers at Japan's University of Tsukuba monitored 60 adults, so it's a small test, 60 adults attending collegiate basketball games. Participants provided saliva samples before, during, and after the games. They wore continuous heart rate monitors and answered questions about enjoyment, immersion, and their sense of connection with the crowd. Among spectators who began with lower oxytocin levels, the hormone increased during the game. Those who started with higher levels generally maintained them. Cortisol, a hormone associated with stress, then declined.
It declined even though there were some guys swabbing their cheeks throughout the game. I would find that a little stressful or distracting.
Nah. The researchers also found that spectators' heart rate patterns became more synchronized during and after the game. Higher oxytocin levels showed a modest association with stronger heart rate synchrony. Both were linked with greater enjoyment, a stronger sense of unity, and an increased desire to attend another game. This is why, like at Dodger Stadium, Dodger fans, and I'm a Dodger fan, will beat up typically like a Giants fan for no other reason other than they're wearing the wrong color, because it's a unity thing, Ted. Just we're unified. Oxytocin is often called the bonding hormone because of its role in attachment, trust, and social behavior. Previous attempts to improve social connection by administering oxytocin through nasal sprays have produced inconsistent results. That's led researchers to investigate activities that may encourage the body to release the hormone naturally. The study does not prove that attending sports events can treat loneliness, anxiety, or psychiatric disorders. It involved only 60 people, measured a single type of event, and found associations, not definitive cause and effect. Still, the findings offer biological evidence for something sports fans have long understood. Sharing attention, emotion, and anticipation with a crowd can create a genuine sense of belonging. At a time when social isolation is increasingly viewed as a public health concern, the value of gathering together may reach deeper than team loyalty. Sometimes the crowd really is feeling the same thing. So Tad and I have said this over and over about humans being pack animals, and we really do need other people. And in this study, I think that's why I don't need to be in a big stadium. Like that freaks me out more than anything. But being with your core group of people, let's say you're watching the Super Bowl at your house, or I don't know, like Ted likes going to concerts and stuff, or I used to do that if I can get far away. But for me, I could feel like when people say they feel the energy of the crowd, like the musicians often say that, right? The athletes say that.
Have you ever spoken in public?
It's true.
I have, and I felt that.
Yeah, so the energy from the crowd is a real thing. So I would say that phenomenon is exemplified right here. It's that you actually start syncing with each other because we are pack animals, especially us ladies. You and your best girlfriends tend to have periods around the same time. Mm-hmm. That's a known thing. You start your periods go on sync together. So then you can all be bitchy together. It's awesome.
That happened to me when I lived in an all-girls dorm. And that's when I first became aware of this phenomenon. No, I did not. My period, fortunately, did not come. But all of my the people on my floor, they all did. There were 8 of us guys living with 540 women. And then one of us heard about this. So, it's like, why are they all acting crazy? And it's like all at the same time. So we weren't even really good friends, the 8 of us. It was just a coincidence that we all lived in the same dorm. We started like within 2 or 3 months, it'd be like, it's happening. Put it in like road trip. And we would all 8 of us pile into a rented car and dip out of town like for 3 or 4 days just to avoid the worst. The girls figured it out at one point. They were like, wait, is it because, and it was like, we're scared of you guys. We're scared.
Well, this is a real thing. So for those of you who want a little bit of a boost, go to one of these big group function type things like events, and you'll feel a dose of oxytocin rush if you're not getting laid. So there's that.
Okay. Ever feel like firing up the barbecue only to quickly realize you have no one with whom to share a cold beer? Well, that's no longer a problem in Russia. You can now rent a total stranger as your barbecue buddy for $15 to $65 a day. The unusual service has been gaining traction in Russia with dozens of ads on classified platforms. I'll help you organize barbecues and camping, keep you company, and grill some meat. Jokes and anecdotes also included, says Artem from Moskva. Depending on how eager they are to please and how much you're willing to spend for their services, your barbecue companions can get the barbecue ready, grill the meat, pitch a tent, and keep you company. Some even offer to find a suitable place for a barbecue and take care of all the groceries as long as you pay for the bill. The fees range from 1,000 rubles, that's about $13, to 5,000, so about $65,000. The specialized service is reportedly offered exclusively to dudes, with the clear mention that this is a paid service and no lasting friendship or connection is to be expected afterwards. If you want to spend more time with your new bro buddies, you are expected to pay their fee again, cheapskates. Analysts from specialized online platforms conducted a study and found that the service is most popular in the Moscow, Krasnodar Krai, and Nizhny Novgorod regions of Russia. From a business perspective, this is absolutely natural. If there's an unmet need, a service will emerge. Of course, you can't buy true friendship, but for many, this won't be an attempt to replace friends, but rather simply to spend a comfortable evening and meet new people. Therefore, I think such services will become more common, and the range of services will expand, Russian restaurateur Evgeny Demchenko told local media.
So that's a perfect dovetail into what we were just saying about people needing friends, right, Ted? I mean,
true.
What does that say about Russian dudes? Like they have no friends to go?
Well, they're no different than American dudes. American dudes don't have any friends either.
Oh, that's true too. That's true. Yeah, everyone's busy online doing their gaming and stuff. Look, I think it was really highlighted during COVID how lonely Americans or much of the world actually is. And people were craving friendship. But I think there's a little bit more to this, Ted. I think there are fewer and fewer people that actually know how to like grill or pitch tents or do. And Robbie can probably chime in on this. There's probably fewer dudes out there that know how to do all of this stuff, right? Like, wouldn't you say maybe that's why you need to turn to renting a buddy that knows how to do these things? Because your dad never taught you, because no one ever taught him. He doesn't know how to do it. So
yeah,
I
could have stood someone. No, I mean, barbecuing wasn't that hard to learn. My ex-wife taught me how to do it, but I mean, it's like I could still use someone to teach me how to throw a baseball properly. My father never did that, so
really?
I throw like a girl, and I mean, I think
I take umbrage. I throw like a boy.
It's a little sad that people feel this need. They have this disconnection. But I got to say, I do wish there was. I looked up online when I was kind of feeling a shortage of male friends. and to see like if there's like you want kind of like a dating site, but for platonic dudes who just want to hang out with
Well,
other
there's
dudes.
meetup groups.
Yeah, I looked into that. That's not the same thing though. What you really want is like beer buddies, like where it's like sort of like you get together and you kvetch and you hang out and you get drunk together or whatever. Like you don't have to drink beer. I mean, you could drink nothing. But my point is, like I don't want to go to an interest group. I mean, I don't want to go to like, oh, everyone's there to talk about, I don't know, political buttons. Like, it's going to be a geekathon. I don't want to do that.
You just want like dudes to hang out with.
I want one dude to hang out with and just like, because I'm not like into group activities. There is nothing
guys have
really
a harder
like that.
time. You guys have a harder time making friends than us women. Like we can become friends with,
That's because you ladies ruin our friendships with our guy friends.
We're getting manicures and you start talking to the lady next to you and suddenly you're friends, right? Like you guys don't, men don't cavort that way, I guess. You guys don't.
Well, we do, but then like our girlfriends or wives always are like, why are you hanging out with Robbie? Robbie's, and then it's like, but I like Robbie. Like, well, you want any pussy tonight? Like, no more Robbie.
I don't know. But Robbie,
women do that.
What do you think? I've never been that woman. I try to encourage my husband to go out and hang out with his friends like more. But
you're unusual though, in a lot of ways.
So I'm like kind of tomboyish, I guess. I've always been that way, I guess.
I always liked it when my wife like went out she didn't go out with her girlfriends enough. First of all, it got her out of my house, but also it was just like, I mean, honestly, I think it's important to same-sex relationships. Good. I don't mean like the Lindsey Graham types. I mean like, are very important.
He probably had a bunch of renta friends.
Oh, I think that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying.
If you need a friend, and people are probably going to find this crazy, I'm going to say it, go to church.
That makes sense.
I mean, you're going to meet so many people, and it's not an interest group because you're going to go there. No, a big part of our problem
people from all walks of life, right?
No, a big part of our problem is that our society has become so secularized and religion has been pushed away that people forget that there's a reason why for 7,000 years, religion has been a cornerstone of social interaction.
You're right. Yeah.
Regardless of who or what it is that you are, where it is that you come from. My dad never taught me how to pitch a tent or anything like that. My dad was a raging asshole drunk. The stuff I learned from guys that I met at church. And I would just talk to anybody from a business owner on the yacht to some schmuck just like me to a guy who hangs drywall. You meet everybody, and you're able to surround yourself with all these people. You're able to talk, and that's how you're able to start developing these things called relationships. Sometimes they become friendships, and you're able to then go and do all these things. And people need to start going to church, even if you're not religious. You need to start going to church, if for nothing else than for the social interaction that you're going to get with other people that otherwise you would never get.
That makes a lot of sense, Robbie. Honestly, I mean, I think frankly, a lot of dudes would find it weird to go to church, if they don't believe in God, right? But
that's the point. You get to go there, and maybe some people will start to believe. Like Ted, I pray for you every day,
and I appreciate that.
And I do hope that one day that you find Christ and that you're safe, because I don't want you to go to hell. And if you come here,
God, it would be the worst to go to hell hanging out with all my former editors.
I mean, I would invite you. I'm pretty sure that you go to church with me, and I think that you meet some really interesting people there that you would legitimately like.
I think that your point is well taken, and that is, I mean, a lot of things have ceased to exist. I mean, God, like, and there you get like with dudes, you get kicked out of paradise. Like, for example, I remember thinking about Boy Scouts. So, like, my son and
Were you a Boy Scout?
I was an Eagle Scout. So, I loved Boy Scouts. And my son, even though it's very old fashioned, my son was in it, and you age out when you turn 18. So once he turned 18 and, then neither he nor I obviously are going to any of that stuff anymore, unless we're like an older parent who's like, interested in participating. think it's weird and creepy when your kids leave the Boy Scouts and you're still involved. Like, why are you there? Like, what are you, Epstein? Like, just don't be there. But I remember thinking, like, these Boy Scout camps are empty a lot of the year. Like, it would be cool to have reunion weekends, like for former scouts and former scout parents to be able to go and have the same experiences, because there you are, you're communing with nature, and then suddenly your kid turns 18 and you're out. It's weird.
Well, let me give you an example. So next month, y'all might be Robulus for 1 or 2 days. I don't know yet. And the reason is my church, we're putting together, they call it family camp. And it's just what it sounds like. It's for families from the church. We're going to go to the North Fork of the Flathead River.
Oh, I thought family camp was like for illegal immigrants under Trump, and they send them to like the camp along the Texas border.
Yeah, but then you get the free Mylar blanket.
Well, this is a different kind of family camp. But how you're talking about learn how to pitch a tent or throw a baseball.
Oh,
those are great. Those are the kinds of places. Those are the kinds of things that you're able to do if you're with the church or at least some kind of a community center to go and learn these things.
Oh, that's neat.
So that's the whole point. I mean, people keep, and a lot of this is because the churches are doing good. American churches especially don't do a good job explaining, yes, God is central to it. But the second aspect of that, though, is a community of like-minded people to get together and become friends with each other. That's the whole point. That's the entire issue. And so, if you want to go and you want to do these things, to have a friend, you got to be friendly. But how do you do that? By interacting with other people.
Yeah.
So if
people
you
need to get out. That's
if you go to one of these camps for like 4 days in the wilderness of Montana, someone's going to teach you how to pack a goat, or how to set up a tent, or how to throw a ball. And those are going to be things that you're going to be able to talk about. And there's no cell phones. There's no service. It's the North Fork of the. It's out in the middle. It's in the freaking mountains at the headwaters of the Flathead River. And
that's great.
The only thing you can do is talk to other people.
That's escape raging floodwaters.
That's the key. That's the key right there. Remove the phone out of everyone's hands, and lo and behold, you will start making new friends. Like you'll start talking to the people next to you. That's weird, huh?
No, Thomas is at Bible camp right now. He'll be there till Friday. He's in Swan, Montana. The population is 250 people. Big city. There's no cell service. There's no services at all. There's one gas station.
So he will be present.
Yeah, and just
in that moment.
And he's there with like 200 or 300 other teenagers from all around the state.
Wow.
And a lot of these, and some of these are the rich Californians who've come in.
Oh.
Other people are just working class people like us. Some of them are Indians from the reservation. You don't know. And this is going to give a chance for people who ordinarily would never meet or ever have a chance to have any kind of friendship or any kind of connection to meet each other and actually build a relationship if you choose to do so.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's really cool. So there you go. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like the modern day they're doing it how Russia's doing it with, ads and apps and stuff to rent a friend. But as the app warns you, right, it says, don't expect like real friendship, a lasting relationship out of this. We're just your barbecue bro for that day. Like, that's it. So,
like, what about like, okay, I mean, what if it's like sort of you're in the mood for some Lindsey Graham type,
not what this is.
Like Hegseth kind of.
The Russians want to do like outdoorsy bro stuff, and there's a dearth of outdoorsy bros.
But what about someone's like throw a sausage on the Barbie? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think they're doing. I don't think they're that. They're not as into that, Ted, in Russia.
No, that's true. They're really not. No,
it's really not their thing out there.
The traditional gender roles are definitely a very culturally Russian thing.
I mean, yes. If I was ever going to live in another country, I mean, Russia would be really high up on the list, because I think that
you'd be pretty more comfortable there, probably.
Yeah. I don't think I'd mind it either, other than the cold.
No, cold. just for
the cold to me is an advantage.
No,
I would love that.
Russia, Kazakhstan is probably number one on my list, or some small town in China, a little village, a little farming town.
I got to tell you, small towns in China are not small towns in southern France. They are not charming. They are bleak.
I will take you to Ted. I will the next time you come here. I will take you to Lima, Montana. Mm-hmm. It's a little ranching town. It's right there off the interstate. The town's almost dead because it was a railroad town. Now it's pretty much gone. So it's just all ranches, and I lived there for several months before.
I like little places like that. I'm just saying, in China specifically, village life is like muddy and cow shit and pig shit all over the place.
You're describing Montana, Ted.
All right,
you have paved streets.
You have some paved roads.
Well, Kalispell,
the roads.
Well, Kalispell's a city. I'm talking about like the small towns.
Oh,
but you have paved roads, right? I mean, in the small towns, in the middle of town.
It depends on the town. Not always.
I'm gonna go visit.
I feel like asphalt is our friend.
Yeah,
I thought you're anti-asphalt because of global warming.
Yeah, I am. It's true.
All right, so
it's not our friend.
White asphalt.
So you're racist.
I'm a white nationalist. I'm anti-black when it comes to asphalt.
Oh, all right. Let's leave that right there. We are out of time. We're over. But thank you guys for tuning in for Tuesday. We'll be back for we'll take recommendations. If you know some weird stories, we haven't put this up in a while, Ted, but you can email us right there. TMI Show question, singular. Send one question.
Only one.
TMI Show question at yahoo.com. We haven't shown that in a while. So referrals, recommendations, whatever we should cover, send it there. TMI Show question at yahoo.com.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yep. We're going to rate Putinbot Gaming. It's going to take a moment to switch over. It's harder to go from a podcast stream over to a gaming stream. So just you'll pop over there. Just wait a minute and I'll pop on up.
Sit tight.
I appreciate y'all watching for helping me with the watch hours.
Yeah. Help Robbie with those hours. Don't forget. So sit tight and just let it play. That's all it takes. And drop a line in the chat. Adios, amigos. Thank you. Stay tuned for Robbie's. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.